Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 172 in my countdown to retirement. So today I did my weekly weigh-in, and I dropped 1.4 pounds this week. So now I'm down to 208.8 pounds while I'm trying to knock that weight off in advance of my cruise. Plus, it's got my blood sugar dropping pretty substantially. So as a type 2 diabetic, I'm pretty happy about that. Then I ran out to Sprouts this morning. I needed to pick up some onion and garlic and some red potatoes that I needed to be able to make a roast for chuck roast for my wife for dinner this evening. Then came home, prepared the chuck roast for dinner using, well, first I created the broth with Better Than Boullion beef base, and I augmented that with sauteed onions, sauteed garlic, some Italian seasoning, pepper and garlic powder, mixed all that up, poured that over the chuck roast, threw it in the oven at 350 degrees for 5.5 hours. And about at the 4-hour mark, I diced the red potatoes that I had diced up, along with baby carrots that I also diced up, and I had also reserved part of the liquid for the evaporation. So about 4 hours in, I added that into the Dutch oven, and then let it finish cooking for the remainder of the 5.5 hours. Then pulled it, and then I removed all of the connective tissue. My wife doesn't like having to trim off anything while she's eating her meal, so I made sure all the sinew and connective tissue was removed. And then I served it to her, and then she must have liked it because she ended up having 2 bowls, so that's good. And then there's enough left over probably for another 2 to 3 meals, so probably lunches or something. Anyhow, I spent virtually the entire day checking in for my Norwegian Caribbean cruise. Really, it shouldn't be that hard, but fundamentally what ended up happening is I started the check-in process, got through the first several steps pretty quickly. Then it asked for an updated photo, and the photo has to be it has to be of you with no glasses, nothing covering your head. Can't have anyone else in the picture. They need it for security, apparently, at the port in Southampton. For you to be able to get into the port, they want the photo. Anyway, so then I had to get my wife take photos till she was satisfied with one. Take them of selfies of myself till I was satisfied with one. Again, no glasses, no hats, nothing like that. Edit them into a square because otherwise it's distorted when you upload them. Took care of that, entered in all the appropriate documentation, passport numbers, all that stuff, flights. I had to set up my transfers, which was coming on the way back. So I'm having NCL do the transfer from the ship to the Reykjavik airport in Keflavik. And that was $199 for the two of us. So $99.50 each. So anyway, I got through all that. Then I'm like, okay, well, I need to set up the transfer to go from Heathrow because I'm coming in a day early, so NCL won't do it. So I have to set up my own transfer to go from Heathrow down to the ship. And I'm like, great, I know the ship's in Southampton. So I contact NCL and I'm like, what's the address of the port and what berth do I have to go to? Because there's multiple terminals, multiple ships, multiple cruise lines. I don't know which one it is. So I got on the online chat, and the person basically says, I can't tell you because we've got multiples that we use. Once you check in, 24 hours later, you'll get your e-docs, and it'll tell you which port berth you have to go to. And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to check in, and the question is, what time do you want to check in And I can't answer that question without knowing the duration of time it will take me to get from Heathrow Airport to your port. So I need the address. Well, anyway, round and round, not going to get it from them. So then I went into Google and I'm like, where's NCL use? What port does it use for Southampton? It came back and it gave me Horizon Cruise Terminal, berth 102. I'm like, fine. So I popped that into Google Maps, gave me an estimated time, which is between an hour and a half and 2 hours and 10 minutes, depending on traffic on a Sunday morning, which is when we'll be doing the transfer. So then I went out and I started searching on transportation services that I could use. Anyway, net, I found some that I didn't book tonight, but probably end up booking tomorrow once I get the docs and verify that it's the terminal I think it is. And again, it'll be about $200 US to do the transfer from London's Heathrow down to Southampton, which is around 90 miles away. So anyway, took care of all of that, and then then I updated all the documentation, made sure I had everything checked off. So now I'm 100% checked in. Now I just have to wait for my e-docs to finalize everything, and I'm updating my paperwork and make sure I got everything that I need to be prepared. I checked all the flights. I checked the hotels again. I checked to make sure I had the transfer, like I said, set up in the right places. Other than the transfer now from Heathrow to the ship, I think that I've got everything done. But I will double and triple check as over the next week to just make sure that everything is exactly what I need. Anyway, then I got a text from my daughter-in-law that from the airplane she and my son are flying down to see my mother in South Florida on their way to Raleigh for some interviews my son's doing, as well as the relocation, finding an apartment or whatever to go there. So she sweet talked the JetBlue person into giving her a free upgrade into first class on the flight down. So, and since they're coming again from California to Florida, that's a long flight. So having an extra comfortable seat that's a lay flat or whatever they give you, she was pretty excited about. Anyway, that's my update for today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening, and until tomorrow, take care.